Hi, we are the Ohio guys here in Conno Delete in Chicago, Illinois. And today my special guest is Eric Stuart. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Yeah. First question, what's it like working in the industry?
What's like working in the industry? Well, it's kind of like going on a date every day because you're constantly trying to sell yourself. So it can be disappointing, it can be exciting, it can be challenging, but to survive, you have to sort of let it go after you audition or after you, even if you don't get a job, things like that, you just have to let it go or else you could be really crushed. But it is also exciting because you never know what you're going to be doing the next day. Some days you get to be crazy characters. Some days you get to be serious voiceover. Sometimes you get to be whatever. It's a little a stuffed animal, whatever it may be. You never know. So it at least makes each day interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your favorite anime that you worked on?
My favorite anime, I'd have to say that as a actor, probably Pokemon, because of the fact that I feel like that's such a big part of pop culture history, and I think that people will know of Pokemon for many years to come. All ages know that. If you say Pokemon to a 6-year-old, they know what you're talking about. If you say it to a grandparent, they know what you're talking about. It was pretty much an honor to be part of something that is so recognizable. As a director, I feel very much that my favorite accomplishment is working on Viva Pinata. That was a show that I really enjoyed to direct. It got a chance to really show my sense of humor and build something from scratch rather than working on a dub. So those are my two favorite shows that I've worked on.
You mentioned Pokemon. What was it like working on Pokemon?
It was great. Of course, we didn't know what we were getting involved in when we started. We thought it would just be another one of those, dub it and it'll go to DVD. So when it exploded the way it did, we were as in shock as probably all the fans were. But it was great. I mean, those are characters I enjoy playing. They're characters I think that people connect to. That's another thing about the shows that like a Pokemon is that I think the fans like it because of the friendship that's there, the adventure that's there, but also there's always a character they can relate to. If they think Ash is too squeaky clean, they might think James is funny, they like James. Or they might think that, I'm a big fan of Meowth, or whatever it may be. There's something for everyone. When you have a show that has no one that you like or can connect to, they usually don't last very long. And I think that Pokemon has a lot of characters we like.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Another anime you worked on? What was it like working on the Yu-Gi-Oh series?
Well, it made sense to work on Yu-Gi-Oh after working on Pokemon because I feel like the kids that were a little too old for Pokemon needed something as the next show, and Yu-Gi-Oh made sense. It had the same kind of dynamic. It had characters we liked, characters we didn't like, but someone we could always relate to. Good storyline. It was a little bit more complicated with the gameplay. So working on that show required a little bit more focus on directing it, especially knowing when mistakes were made, to try to keep up with that stuff, whereas with Pokemon, it was more simplified. But the drama of Yu-Gi-Oh was fun to do. I think that it as an actor, it let us go a little bit further on the spectrum than just a little bit of funny and a little bit of serious. The acting spectrum was bigger with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, you should see it all the time.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yep.
All right. This is another question we ask all the voice actors.
Yeah.
If you could be any of the characters you played in real life, who would you be?
Oh,
feel free to mix and match.
Real life, huh? I'd have to say it would probably be Kaiba. Even though a lot of people don't like him because of his personality. He has his own company. He's got all those toys. He's got all that money. He's got strong family values. He obviously feels very protective about his brother, which, as I said, I think he's misunderstood. I think he's got a good heart. He's got a little bit of a temper problem, but no big deal. We all do. I would have to say it would be Kaiba. Plus, I always loved his outfits. I love the flowing coats and stuff like that. He looks good. Good look, good-looking guy.
He's a smart guy too.
Yeah, very smart. Very smart. Yes, I would have to say Kaiba.
All right. Another anime. What was it like working on the Slayers series?
Slayers was fun. Playing Gowry on Slayers was my first role that I got that was a continuing role. A lot of ad libs on that show because the scripts weren't always written on time, so that was fun to play around with. And it was a good comedy. I liked the dynamic between Lena and Gowry. Working with Lisa Ortiz was great. She's funny. And I thought that was a good storyline. I actually, I know it's a cult favorite. There's definitely a lot of people that are like, oh, Slayers is my favorite show. It's one of my first animes I ever watched. And then there's people that are like, I've never seen this show before. I think if you haven't seen it, you need to go and rent it or whatever, or watch it online. It's just, to me, it's a good story arc. Yeah, fun.
It's a classic too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, is there anything coming out you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug in at this moment?
You know, most of what I've been doing right now is I do a lot of audiobooks. I do some cameo appearances on some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff here and there as guest stars, and I work on original content things, a lot of CGI animation. I've worked on some movies recently. I directed a movie last year with Christopher Lloyd and Sarah Michelle Gellar called Operation Freedom Force, which was a French animated, I think it was French. No, it was Peruvian, but we dubbed it in English. Very funny. But I do more original content stuff now than I do anime. But rumor has it that there's a new Yu-Gi-Oh movie coming out, and that has Kaiba in it and Yugi in it. So I can only imagine who's going to be in it. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Okay, last question, and we asked this to all the VAs.
Yep.
Any social media,
Yep.
Facebook, Twitter, anything like that?
Yeah, so Facebook, there's an Eric Stuart band Facebook. My website is ericstuart.com, S-T-U-A-R-T. That's where you can find all of my convention appearances, my music, the shows I'm working on. Twitter, Eric Stuart, you'll find me. And it's very easy to always recognize me on all of those things because I don't use some weird drawing of me or whatever. It's usually me with a pork pie hat on. So if you're searching and you go I don't know which Eric Stuart it is, it'll be like, oh, there's the hat. It's Eric Stuart. I got it. I got the right one.
Nice hat though.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, thank you for tuning in to another edition to the Ohio Guys. I'm Christian. This is Eric. And we'll see you next time.